The guards had never seen anything like it. At exactly 3:12 a.m., every security camera inside the deepest part of ADX Florence, the control unit, glitched at the same time. The screens flickered, turned black, and then flashed back on with one chilling image. An inmate named Marcus Hale was standing in the center of his concrete cell, staring directly into the camera, motionless, even though he was supposed to be asleep. His eyes were wide open. His lips were moving, but no sound came out. Then he lifted his hand. Slowly, shaking, and he pointed upward at the ceiling. There was nothing on the ceiling. No holes. No vents big enough. No shadows. Just plain concrete. But Marcus kept pointing. Then his lips moved again, and this time the audio cut in. The guards leaned closer to the speaker. What he whispered made all of them freeze. "They're coming through the ceiling." Every guard in the control room stared at each other. "What's coming?" one of them asked. The audio crackled. Marcus's whisper grew louder. The hours are eating me." And then the camera cut out again. Static covered his entire screen. But not before they saw something impossible. A chunk of concrete behind Marcus's back cracked, like something inside the wall had punched it. "Reset the feed," Officer Reyes shouted. But the screen stayed black. All they heard now was Marcus whispering one last sentence, voice shaking as if someone was standing right behind him. "They don't tell you what happens in the 23rd hour." Then the audio turned into a sharp screaming sound, and the alarm exploded through the prison. Something was happening inside Marcus Hale's cell, and nobody wanted to open that door. The guards rushed down the hallway, boots stomping, radios buzzing. The red emergency lights flashed like the hallway was breathing. They stopped in front of cell 14. The door was shaking. Not small shakes. Not light taps. But huge booms, like someone inside was smashing their whole body into it. Over and over. One guard stepped forward. "Marcus, step back from the door." No answer. Another boom hit the steel. Harder. The guards grabbed their riot shields. They exchanged nervous looks. They had seen stabbings, riots, escapes, even fires. But something about this felt wrong. Too wrong. Too unnatural. Officer Reyes took a deep breath and shouted, "Open the cell." The steel door slid open slowly. Every guard raised their shield. The door opened fully. And inside the cell, a Marcus Hale was gone. His blanket was on the floor. His food tray was untouched. His shower hadn't been used. His slit window still had the metal bars locked tight. There was no way out. Only one thing was left behind. A bloody message scratched into the wall with someone's fingernails. "They took me in the 23rd hour." That was the moment the guards realized something terrible. Marcus Hale didn't escape the prison. Something inside the prison took him. But how? The walls were solid concrete. The ceiling was solid concrete. The door was steel. The vents were the size of a showbox. No human could break them. No human could disappear through them. And yet Marcus Hale was gone. Officer Reyes' radio crackled. A voice from the control room yelled, "Check the ceiling camera." Now. Reyes glanced up. There was a tiny camera in the corner of the ceiling, one meant to capture the top of the cell. Sometimes it caught inmates trying to hide shanks or signaling to other prisoners. Reyes climbed on the bunk bed and looked into the camera dome. He froze. His heart nearly stopped. He whispered, "Oh God." Because inside the reflection of the camera dome, he saw something moving in the corner of the room. Something crouched. Something watching him. He whipped around, raising his shield, but the corner was empty. The thing he saw was gone. Or maybe it was never there. Or maybe it was behind the walls. 3 weeks earlier, Marcus Hale wasn't a man shaking, screaming, or carving walls with his fingernails. He was a quiet inmate, one of the few who kept to himself. He had been sent to ADX Florence after robbing 3 banks with a violent crew in Detroit. The judge called him too calm and too clever. That was why he ended up in the most secure prison in America. They thought Marcus would break like everyone else. ADX Florence was designed for that. You live alone. You eat alone. You shower alone. You walk alone. You think alone. You spend 23 hours alone every day, sometimes more. The guards talked about it in the break room. Everyone cracks in the 23rd hour. Everyone. Marcus didn't believe it at first. He thought he was stronger. But the loneliness didn't hit all at once. It started slowly, like cold water rising around his ankles. Day 1 was quiet. Day 2 was long. Day 3 felt bigger than the room. By day 7, he started pacing in circles for hours. By day 9, he had memorized every crack in the wall. By day 12, He was talking aloud without realizing it. By day 15, he heard something in the walls. A knock. Soft. Almost gentle. He sat up on his bed. Another knock tapped. This time from the ceiling. Then a third knock, closer. Marcus pressed his ear to the wall. "Is someone there?" he whispered. No answer. He told the guard during feeding time. "There's knocking in my cell." Officer Bowman laughed. "You're in ADX. Everybody hears things." But Marcus didn't smile. "It's from the walls." Bowman's face changed a little, just for a second. Like he knew something he wasn't allowed to tell. Marcus backed away from the door. "Tell me what's in the walls," he said. Bowman shook his head and walked off. That night, the knocking returned. This time it wasn't random. It was in a pattern. Tap, 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 tap. Like a message. Marcus didn't sleep at all. He kept listening. He kept breathing fast. He kept telling himself it wasn't real. But then he heard a voice. Not a whisper. A full sentence. Soft. Calm. Too calm. "I see you, Marcus." His blood turned cold. He sat up straight on the bed, his chest tight. "Who are you?" he whispered. The voice didn't answer. Instead, it whispered, "You'll meet me in the 23rd hour." That was the first time Marcus realized something was wrong with the prison. Terribly wrong. He wasn't alone, not really. Something else was with him. Watching. Listening. Waiting. And the guards knew more than they were saying. Over the next days, the voice came back. It whispered little things. "I'm above you. I'm behind the wall. I'm under the floor. I'm closer now." Marcus tried covering his ears, but he could still hear it. He shouted for help, but no guard believed him. By day 19, he had stopped eating. By day 20, his hands trembled nonstop. By day 21, he tried blocking the vents. By day 22, the camera caught him pacing so fast that guards thought he was losing his mind. And by day 23, the day before he vanished, something new happened. The ceiling cracked. He heard breathing. Not human breathing. Deep. Slow. Heavy. Coming from above him. He stared up for almost an hour. Then he grabbed his meal tray and whispered, "Please don't come down. Please." But the breathing only got louder. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He didn't sit down. He didn't blink much. He didn't speak. He just watched the ceiling until morning. And then, the 23rd hour came. Nobody knows exactly what happened inside the cell. The cameras glitched. The audio cut out. And the only thing they got back was a few seconds of Marcus whispering to the camera, pointing up at the ceiling, saying, "They are coming through." Then he disappeared. And now, Officer Reyes is standing inside that empty cell, sweating, staring at the bloody message on the wall. The 23rd hour. He steps backward. And suddenly, the ceiling cracks again. A loud, sharp crack. Dust falls from above. The guards scream. The ceiling bulges downward, like something is pushing through it from the other side. Something big. Something strong. Something alive. The concrete splits open. Officer Reyes raises his shield. And something long and dark bursts through the ceiling. A hand. A human hand. But it is burned, twisted, stretched too far to be normal. It reaches down, fingers curling, grabbing for him. The guards shout and run backward. Reyes tries to escape, but the hand grabs his shield, crushing it like paper. He screams, and as the concrete breaks wider, a face appears. A face that looks like Marcus Hale, but twisted, pale, and stretched like it has been living inside the walls. It opens its mouth and says, "It's your turn now." Officer Reyes didn't have time to scream twice. The twisted hand, long, stretched, bone showing through the skin, pulled the riot shield down like it was made of cardboard. The metal bent, cracked, and dropped to the floor with a loud clang. The guards behind him panicked. "Fall back! Fall back!" Officer Travers shouted. But Reyes couldn't move. The hand didn't just grab him. It held him. Cold. Strong. Too strong. A strength that no human should have. The cracked ceiling rained dust over his face. The twisted version of Marcus Hale hung halfway down from the hole, his head upside down, his eyes wide and glowing. "Let go of me," Reyes yelled. The creature, if it even was Marcus, didn't blink. It whispered the same 3 chilling words Marcus wrote on the wall. The 23rd hour. Then its jaw snapped downward, too wide, too sharp. The guards charged at Reyes, trying to pull him free. But the creature recoiled back into the ceiling, dragging Reyes upward. Reyes screamed as his boots scraped across the concrete floor. No, 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 don't let it take me. Travers grabbed Reyes's arm. Carter grabbed the other. But something yanked Reyes so hard that both guards lost their grip. Reyes shot upward like a rag doll. His scream echoed through the cell. And then he disappeared into the hole. Silence hit the hallway. A few pieces of broken concrete fell from the ceiling and bounced on the ground. Travers stared at the hole, shaking, breath trembling. "Seal it," he whispered. "Seal it now." The guards backed away slowly as if the ceiling might reach down again. No one spoke. No one even breathed loudly. Finally, Travers slammed the cell door shut and locked it with shaking hands. Then he leaned against the wall, palms sweating. "2 inmates gone," he whispered. "And now, a guard." Carter nodded shakily. "This isn't normal," he said. "This isn't inmates. This is." He stopped before saying the word. Something else. Something the government pretended didn't exist. Something ADX Florence was built to hide. 2 hours earlier, before Reyes vanished into the ceiling, something else had been happening inside ADX Florence. Something the guards didn't know yet. Down in the lower levels, where only a few staff ever walked, the prison's old ventilation tunnels rattled. They were built decades ago, before the upgrades, before the place became the most secure prison in the United States. Inside one of those tunnels, something was crawling. Not fast, not loud, but steady. A slow drag, scrape, drag, scrape. A noise that echoed softly through the walls. A noise Marcus Hale had heard every night before he vanished. At 2:47 a.m., a lone maintenance officer named Lewis heard the scraping. He stopped, confused, and shined his flashlight up at the vent. At first, he saw nothing. Just a dusty grate and old metal. But then, 2 fingers slipped through the vent holes. Long, thin, pale. Lewis stepped back, heart pounding. He raised his radio. "Control room, this is maintenance. You better send someone down here. Something's." But a second hand pushed through the vent. Then a third. Then the vent cover bent outward. Lewis dropped his flashlight. No. Something inside hissed. A voice. A voice that sounded like Marcus. But not Marcus. 23 hours, with me. Lewis turned and ran. But he never reached the hallway. Something dragged him back into the dark. Back in the main prison, panic was spreading among the guards. They locked down entire wings. They sealed every hallway. They turned off inmate movement. They activated emergency protocols that hadn't been used in years. Travers stood in the command room, shouting orders. Find Reyes on any camera, any hallway, any vent. But every screen showing the vents or the ceiling tunnels was just static. No video, no sound, just a buzzing white image. Like something was blocking the feed. A technician stuttered. "Yes, sir, the entire system is malfunctioning." "What part?" "All of it." "Fix it." I'm trying." Travers slammed his fist on the desk. "This can't be happening. 3 disappearances in one night. In ADX. In the most secure prison in the country." Carter swallowed hard. "This place wasn't built just to hold inmates, sir." Travers turned slowly. "What did you just say?" Carter hesitated. Then he said it again. ADX wasn't built only to keep people in. It was built to keep something else from getting out. Travers stared at him. Carter took a deep breath. "You've seen the old blueprints, right? The ones from '94 before the upgrades." "Yeah," Travers muttered. "Then you know the truth." Travers didn't answer. Carter leaned closer and whispered, "The walls aren't just concrete." Before Travers could respond, every alarm in the control room lit up. Red flashing lights. Rapid beeping. Warning messages across every screen. "What now?" Travers shouted. A guard pointed at a monitor. "Sir, it's the entire B-pod. All cells are opening and closing by themselves." Travers slammed the monitor. "That's impossible." But the screens didn't lie. Cell doors slid open, then slammed shut hard enough to spark. Then open again. Then shut again. Like an invisible force was walking through the hallway and hitting each one. Open. Shut. Open. Shut. Open. Shut. Again and again. And the sound echoed like thunder through the concrete. "What's doing that?" Carter whispered. As if answering him, something on the camera moved. A dark shape. Tall. Thin. Wrong. Walking down the hallway without touching the ground. The cameras glitched before it came fully into view. Static filled the screen. The figure vanished. Meanwhile, inside the ceiling tunnels, Reyes still wasn't dead. He woke up choking on dust, coughing hard, his head pounding. He pushed himself off the cold metal floor in total darkness. "Hello," he yelled. His voice echoed, but no answer came, except for a whisper behind him. "Officer Reyes." He froze. Slowly, he turned around. A pale face stared back at him in the dark, eyes glowing faintly. Marcus Hale. Or what was left of him. Reyes scrambled backward. "Stay away from me." Marcus tilted his head like a curious animal. "The walls showed me everything," he whispered. "They showed me what's inside this prison. What's been here all along." Reyes shook his head. "You're dead. You're supposed to be dead." Marcus smiled, but his mouth cracked too wide. "I was alone for too long, officer. And when you are alone, really alone, the walls stop being walls." Reyes crawled away, kicking backward. "What do you want from me?" Marcus crawled after him, limbs bending strangely. "You don't understand yet," he whispered. "But you will." Reyes reached the edge of the tunnel and looked down. His stomach twisted. Below him was a massive drop into complete darkness. A shaft no one knew existed. A part of the prison not on any map. Marcus grabbed his ankle. Reyes screamed. Marcus whispered, "You'll join the others." Reyes kicked as hard as he could. His boot connected with Marcus's jaw, cracking it sideways. Marcus hissed, letting go for a moment. Reyes scrambled to his feet and ran deeper into the tunnel. His footsteps echoed. His breath shook. His heart thumped loud enough to hear. Behind him, Marcus's voice followed. "You can't run from the 23rd hour." Reyes kept running, until suddenly, the floor collapsed beneath him. The metal snapped. Reyes dropped through the darkness. He grabbed a hanging cable with one hand, but it ripped, sending sparks everywhere. He fell again, and landed on something wet. He groaned, pushing himself up. Then he realized where he was. A giant underground chamber, with water dripping, pipes humming, and dozens of missing people. Some were prisoners, some were guards, some were maintenance workers, all pale, all staring, all whispering the same words in unison. 23 hours, 23 hours, 23 hours. Reyes stumbled backward in terror. Then all the whispering stopped at once. Every pale head turned toward the far corner of the chamber. Reyes's blood froze. Something enormous was moving in the shadows. Slow, heavy, breathing like a monster. Reyes tried to run, but the chamber lights flickered on, and he saw the creature clearly for the first time. And it was worse than anything he imagined.